Hi friends, in the summer, which is coming up really soon, we are going to do a 6-week series.
Beginning on Pentecost, May 31st, we're going to start a summer series of preaching entitled God's Creative Connection.
We are going to go all the way back to the stories of Genesis. Stories of God's creation, as well as how God uses people and God's redeeming love to bring back the power of creativity and how we should live as a caring community.
Following the Easter season in our lectionary year, there's some readings from the book of Genesis. And so while we talk about Pentecost being the birthday of the church and God calling us into being as a church, we also remember God is the one who's been calling creation into being from the very beginning and trying to connect it.
Genesis is part of not only wonderful stories, but also brings back to who we are as people.
We have a chance in this series to see God's creative connection across the long history of the people of God. Some of the themes we're going to be covering are creative laughter, how Sarah laughs at God and God's plan for her to have a child when she's very old, and what does it mean to have laughter in the Bible and to celebrate that. There's also one that talks about being faithful, even when it's hard to see that, and how God tries to connect us through being faithful to one another and faithful to God.
Reverend Dan is going to speak about languages, followed up by creation. And Michael is going to talk about laughter on June 14th. Follow up how we all mess up, and how God uses us as messy people and still finds hope and healing. Then about creative faithfulness. And the last one, how God brings us all together into lifelong connection and caring relationships.
One of the joys that we have in the Acts passage is that there were so many voices at that first Pentecost. And so what we get to experience this summer is many voices in our preaching. So Zigrid and I are going to preach. We have invited Michael to share some thoughts in one of the sermons. So we get to hear from a variety of voices. And I think that's a good thing. And it reminds us the church is filled with voices, many of us having thoughts about what that means and how to be a part of that great voice of the church as we go forward.